alotkha, when setting up. וידבר אדוני על משה לאמור, דבר אל אהרון ואמרת אליו, והלותך את הנרות אל מול פני המנורה, ויראו שבעת הנרות. Adonai said to Moshe, tell Aharon, when you set up the lamps, the 7 lamps are to cast their light forward in front of the menorah. Today's parshah comes from Numbers, Bamidbar, chapter 8, verse 1 to chapter 12, verse 16, from the Torah, and Zechariah, chapter 2, verse 14 to chapter 4, verse 7, the haftarah. And I've chosen Messianic Jews, Acts chapter 1, verses 1 to 5, which I begin with. In days gone by, God spoke in many and varied ways to the fathers through the prophets. But now in the Acharit Hayamim, he has spoken to us through his Son, to whom he has given ownership of everything, and through whom he created the universe. This Son is the radiance of the Shekinah, the very expression of God's essence, upholding all that exists by his powerful word. And after he had through himself made purification for sins, he sat down at the right hand of the Ha-Gedulah Bamaromim. So he has become more better than angels, and the name God has given him is superior to theirs. For to which of the angels did God ever say, "You are my son, today I have become your father"? The beginning of the covenant with Moses is illustrated by the setting up of the temple in the wilderness, and could be the beginning of days when the first century after the death of Yeshua is being referenced in Messianic Jews as the Acharit Hayamim, or end of days. Just as the temple menorah reflects the Shekinah seen in the sky above the temple. First century contemporaries of Yeshua saw him as the light on the holy word of Adonai, a divine Messiah. The living word Yeshua was seen as sitting to the right hand of the Ha-Gedulah Bamromim, majesty or greatness on high. In other words, mighty God. Matthew comes to mind when he quoted Yeshua saying, likewise, when people light a lamp, they don't cover it with a bowl, but put it on a lampstand, so that it shines for everyone in the house. That's Matthew 5:15 of the Complete Jewish Bible. I do not think this was meant to mean to demand others to do what you do, but it does mean one should be a testament to what one believes. Today, the glorious light that was over the temple is not there, and we are the ones who need to shine with truth. Mercy. Last week we learned about naso, which means take, and how this was not about taking, but really about learning to share and support one another. This week we learned the importance of shining a light, and today that light might be ourselves. It can be about what we say, and it can also be about what we do. What better way to shine and bring good news to the world than to love one another and help each other? So this week we again learn the importance of having faith in the Almighty, as well as being reflective of the love, mercy, and redemption that we receive from Adonai. Our own responsibility for the eventual judgment includes being merciful to one another. As we approach the Day of Atonement, Yom Kippur, we are running out of time to balance our righteous deeds against our mistakes. It is time to do what we can to make up to others for what we have done wrong to them and forgive others who are not able to make up to us for their mistakes. Nothing shines brighter than mercy. Sacrifice. Sacrifice is easier said than done. No one knows better than my people. We talk about things from Bible times, but there are sacrifices being made now. The sacrifices made in the Holocaust are somewhat recent, while new generations do not know the same way as mine. I have met Holocaust survivors, but I am also talking about the world today. There are people making sacrifices in Israel right now. There are attacks and lives being lost, including IDF soldiers giving their lives for the Holy Land. If you were the judge for a person who believes in Adonai and a person who does not, what would you do to one who does not believe? If they gave their life to save others? How would you judge the one who believes in Hashem if they are selfish and wealthy? Now, how would you judge yourself? It is a blessing to have a merciful God who is willing to sacrifice his divine chosen Son out of chesed, divine loving kindness. We might not have such mercy for others. I have not always been sacrificial with my life, and I am unworthy for redemption. I do not know if I would give my life for others. It is only with redemption from the Messiah Yeshua that I can be worthy of the second life through the chesed of Messiah's redemption. Respect. Roni v'simki bat Sion. Ki hineni ba. V'shachaniti v'tokek. Neum Adonai. In the haftarah, we read, "Sing, daughter of Zion, rejoice, for here I am coming, and I will live among you, says Adonai." When that time comes, many nations will join themselves to Adonai. They will be my people, and I will live among you. Then you will know that it was Adonai Sevaot who sent me to you. While this verse seems to be Zechariah saying that they will know he was sent by Adonai, it also seems to be a prophecy that applies to Messiah Yeshua coming. That's from Zechariah chapter 2, verses 14 and 15. To live among us is a divine kind of respect that we can return by living in the divine instructions of Adonai. While there are many instructions in the Torah and a few that apply to those who are not in the covenant with Moses, Yeshua, the Word made flesh, taught the purpose and essence of the will of Adonai that can be applied to everyone. This is a tradition of respect from the followers of Yeshua that can continue today in both Jewish and Christian communities. The message of the portion from Numbers 8 focuses in the beginning on the setting up of the temple menorah, which ultimately was ironically taken by the Romans to Rome and paraded around the city after the destruction of the temple about 70 of the current era. The menorah followed the taking of a census. The temple menorah was for shining a light to the world. The message from haftarah Zechariah begins with the daughters of Zion singing to the world about the joy of Adonai coming to live in the Holy Land, and includes a prophecy that can be seen as anticipating Messiah Yeshua. The Brit Hadashah portion that I have chosen illustrates the faithful in the first century, describing Yeshua as a light to the world, and now he sits at the right hand of Adonai in heaven. The way that modern followers of Messiah Yeshua can reflect the Shekinah of Yeshua is to live according to the instructions of the Almighty, understand them through the teachings of Yeshua, and to model them in daily life. It is also important to do this respecting the feelings of others and not be aggressive about the importance of the way we connect with Adonai. If others are called to do what we do, they will not respond to aggressive proselytizing, but will be more likely to listen if we just use our lives as an example of love and faith in the teaching of Adonai through the understanding and sacrifice of Yeshua our Messiah. Simply be merciful to those who wrong us, sacrifice our own selfish interests, and respect those who show interest in our example. This is the best way to share good news, prepare for judgment, and for the tradition of Yom Kippur in the coming months. Have a good week, and Shabbat Shalom.